Good morning. This is Jennifer, Mosaic Manifestation Coach, here to remind you of who you truly are, how much power you truly have, how you are not broken. You are brilliant, you are bold, and you are brave. There is a version of you that is all of these things. And we need only to change our perception of ourselves and change the inner man, the inner dialogue of how we speak to ourselves, to not shit on ourselves, to start really speaking very highly of ourselves as children of God, as the children of God, as the high priestess and the high priests, because that is who you are as the Son of God, here in this human form, experiencing life through your lens, right? There are so many lenses, and that's a big part of why Mosaic came to me, is because even though we are one consciousness experiencing, we are experiencing through different bodies, right? Some people were born with certain disabilities. Some people were born with certain capabilities. And so it is God expressing through all of these forms, all of these different lenses. And in order for us to actualize God mode inside of us, right? The inner God power, and have that actualized, manifested, right? Coming into fruition before we see it, seeing it inside before it externalizes, which is the true art of manifestation. It's really important that we start changing our dialogue, our inner dialogue, what we're saying to ourselves, how we're always talking ill of ourselves. And I'm like the prime example of that. I always would immediately jump to the worst conclusion, jump to the assumption that, oh, that's not going to happen, or I don't think they like me, or whatever the case may be, right? Like, we all have these thoughts that run rampant in our heads that are not who we are. That is not who you are. It's definitely not. And did you ever notice, when you feel these thoughts, when you think these thoughts, or when you have these feelings, how shitty you feel? Like, it doesn't feel good. You're like, oh, like it's like repulsive to yourself, right? You're like, oh, like that fucking sucks. Like, it doesn't feel good to feel this way. And that's because it's not our true nature. It's just our conditioned patterns that we've had from our own upbringings, from our own societal cultures. And even that word alone, cult you're, right? It's a group of people believing and having an ideas and a belief in certain things, right? It's cult-ish if you think about it, right? So it's all of these things that we've imagined ourselves to be, and then we look from that lens instead of from the lens of pure perfection, instead of from the lens of God mode, the I am. In the Bible, almost every part of the Bible, there is I am. Why is that? That's the true place of spirit, of God mode, when we say I am. And everything that we attach to those words, I am, comes into our experience. And the things that come so easy into our experience is because we don't have any attachment to it, right? We're in a place of neutrality. So the thought crosses your mind, and then it happens, and you're like, oh, yesterday I was thinking about And it's like silly stuff because, again, this is, it doesn't matter. So like I was thinking about having a pliable, right? And one of the girls was leaving and I was like, oh, I should just tell her, why don't you stop and maybe get it and I'll treat. And so it just crossed my mind. And then I was like, maybe I'll just get it later. She already walked out the door. I'll text, whatever. I'll just go get it later and then I'll see if she wants any. And within literally like 5 minutes, I get a text. Hey, I'm at Pliable. I felt like having something. Do you want anything? And I was like, of course. Like, I knew that would happen. I knew that she was going to text me. I just had this feeling like I'm going to have a Pliable today. And so she texted me, and within a few minutes I was like, yeah, I'll have this, blah, blah, blah. And then she offered even treat for it, which was awesome because I offered to pay for it in my mind, But the bottom line is I saw it as mine. Like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to have. And it materialized. So there's no difference between a Pliable and that person that you're desiring. There's no difference between, your Starbucks latte and the job that you desire. The difference is what you give the meaning to. We put a lot of weight on these things and like, oh, it's got to happen by a certain time, or I need it because, we condition it and we put value on it instead of claiming it and allowing how it's going to happen to just happen, put it out there and know, okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing. That's the job I have. And not putting so much of I don't know about you, but I used to have a lot of internal angst about things and how it's going to show up or will it show up. And it's like, when we do that, we literally stop the wheels from materialization of these things, right? So don't put so much emphasis. Look at, the person you're calling in, the job you are desiring, the career that you're calling forth, the money that's in your bank. Just look at it from a place of, yeah, it's done. It's mine. I have it. Put the desire out there. And then the key is to detach. Come into a place of neutrality. And I know, guys, I know how hard it is sometimes. But this is the real inner work of inner dialogue, inner conversations, watching and being aware of the thoughts that we attach to, I am not worthy of it, or I am not good enough for it, or I am not pretty enough, or I am too much for some people, all of these thoughts, like, they're just thoughts. And when we can just say, no, it's kind of like when my kids were younger, and now they're much older, but when my kids were younger and they were harping on something, I would give them something else to distract them. And it's kind of the same principle that we need to apply here. See it in your mind's eye as done. Act from the end as opposed to thinking of it, think from it. That's what Neville always talks about. And then watch, and then try to let it go and distract yourself, go for a walk or, entertain your mind with something different if you feel like you're getting emotionally attached to wanting that thing, right? That's the first thing. And then the second thing is the inner dialogue. So I have here from Neville Goddard, Awakened Imagination, and the search. Chapter 5, the coin of heaven. And it says here, make your inner conversation match your fulfilled desire. What you desire to hear without, you must hear within. And he's talking about the inner dialogue that we have. Those conversations of, yeah, you know, he's really good looking, but he wouldn't want to be interested in someone like me, or, you know, yeah, I don't know, like this job looks amazing, but I don't qualify. I don't have those skills. You know, I don't have that skill set. These are the things that we need to cut out, you know, prune away, like pruning, just snipping those things away. And that's what Neville Goddard and all of the great manifestation coaches out there that talk about, you know, how to do this. So your inner speech is perpetually written all around you in happenings. Learn to relate these happenings to your inner speech, and you will become self-taught. By inner speech is meant those mental conversations which you carry on with yourself. They may be inaudible when you are awake because of the noise and distractions of the outer world of becoming, but they are quite audible in deep meditation and dream. They're actually audible all the time. It's just a matter of becoming quiet enough and still enough to be able to hear them and to notice them. And then we can say, oh, there's that sneaky thought again that says I'm not worthy. And nope, you know, I'm not going to attach to that thought. And that's why it's always talked about to go within, to seek quiet, because in stillness is God. In stillness is our I am, our true nature. And when we're quiet and still internally, we can then start to pick up on these, you know, invasive thoughts that have always been there, that have kept us from the thing that we desire, from our very wants, from creating those actual things that we are calling in, right? And then those invasive thoughts come in, and whoop, we attach right to them, and whoop, we go down the rabbit hole, and whoop, we're in the old identity. And so it's like this, you know, this vacillating, where when we learn to be still and we can hear this inner chatter and we can catch it and we can see that that's not who we are, we can come back to our true sense, our true peace, our true knowing. So here, there is a God in heaven, and heaven is within you, that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king what shall be in the later days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these. Daniel 2:28. Inner speech from promises of fulfilled desire is the way to create an intelligible world for yourself. So inner speech is everything, right? It's an uncritical observation of our inner talking will reveal to us the ideas from which we view the world, right? So it is our inner conversations which make tomorrow's facts. I mean, think about that. That's powerful. Put off the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Put on the new man, which is created in righteousness. Ephesians 4:22-24. So words are powerful. What we think of ourselves is powerful. It's how things are showing up in our external. So be aware, you know, it doesn't mean, oh my God, I just thought this. Oh God, now that's it. I'm spiraling. I'm the old person. No, just calm awareness of the inner dialogue and cast it aside, cast it out. Put off the former conversation. And this is how you become the version that you desire. Because as you think, you are, right? It's the inner dialogue, those inner conversations. Know that you are not those inner conversations. And over time, that ego, those inner conversations that are working or seem to be working against you will start to work for you. That's why, affirmations and waking up and looking in the mirror and seeing and saying how magnificent and chosen and beautiful and perfect you are, eventually it does sink in, guys. It does, right? Imaginal acts become hardened into facts. So just keep doing the inner work. Keep showing up no matter what. It's what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, it works. It is working. It is working. And this is my true calling, is to become the version that I know that I am. Because that's my desire. This is my desire, is to come on here and to be the new woman who is magnificent, confident, pure perfection, chosen, cherished, loved. Why? Because I gave it to me first. You have to give it to yourself and marinate in that. And so sit by yourself. Everybody's so afraid to be alone, but you're with your thoughts all the time. So start coming into I am. And like I said in my previous videos, sit and marinate in I am. I am powerful. I am love. I am joy. I am perfection. This I am that is spoken so many times in the Bible and written by so many great poets and masters of manifestations like Neville Goddard. When we sit in this, knowing, it marinates, because it is truly who we are. That's who you are. You are beyond and before all the bullshit that this world told you you were. And you have a choice to be someone, to be the highest version that you desire, whether that's a speaker, an author, an artist, a sports illustrator, a sports player, a athlete, a doctor, a lawyer. It doesn't matter. When you sit in this I am and then you marinate in it and come to a place of neutrality, you can start to silence that speech that says you're not worthy. You look at the animal kingdom and they don't question themselves. They don't. They just are. A bird just is. Yeah, the mama bird may kick it out of its nest to fly, but the bird knows how to fly. The bird knows how to fly. It doesn't question its origin or its nature, its name. It just doesn't. And this is the conviction and the confidence and the authority from which we need to embody. And that's what I'm doing. And this is what I desire. This is the role that I am desiring to step into, that I am choosing. So come on board, because at some point, this channel is going to explode. Because why? Because I see it in my mind's eye first. Because I'm not doing it out of vanity. I am doing it out of a burning desire to know that if I can do this as a human being, as somebody who, at my age, I've had so many careers, I've done so many things, I've had kids, I'm a mom, I'm a this, I'm a that, I am. We're always changing who we are. And we're always creating, whether we consciously know it or not. And I think that's part of the deal, is like we get so fucking tripped up because now we're conscious of manifestation. And it's like, oh, what do I do? How do I do this? Like, how do I do this? No, you've been doing it. We've been doing it. We've been doing it. So don't get tripped up. Just now you're conscious of it, right? This is why there's like assholes out there who are getting everything they want, and they treat people like shit, and they're egotistical, and they're fucking morons, and they're angry, hurtful people, but they have their money, or they have the girlfriend, or they have whatever it is that you want. Why is that? Because it's who they know they are. They're like, nope, I'm getting that. They don't consciously, say, they just know. They're not looking at it from the perspective that we are to try to actually make a fucking impact in this world. They're seeing it from a selfish desire, but guess what? It's still a desire. It's their desire, and it's happening for them. So why not you? What makes you any different? What makes me any different? The conviction, the knowing. And so this is where the true confidence comes in, because confidence is a knowing. So how do we get to that place of knowing? We marinate in meditation of I am. I am. And let thoughts come and let thoughts go, because who you are is beyond your form. And you want to manifest a life that you love, that you desire, that you're not trading time for money. You have that beautiful relationship. You're traveling, whatever it is you want to do, whatever, I don't know. Some people want simple things. Some people want big things. This is why it's mosaic. This because everybody is through the lens is creating what, either consciously or unconsciously, what they want or what they don't want. But when you learn that you can do it consciously, then call it in. But in order to call it in, there needs to be some stillness and a place of neutrality, and stop talking shit about yourself. If you know that you are God and God is you, then we need to cast out evil, cast out those thoughts that separate us, and make everything neutral. In other words, what you're desiring, a cup of coffee, a pliable, your person, your job, your career, your whatever, your trip, your this, your that. It's all neutral. Because when you go too high and you get the thing and you go, oh my God, I got it, like I used to do, then when you don't have it, you're going to crash just as fucking low as you did when you were just as high. And so you just have to know, like, yeah, of course I have that person. Of course, because I am source. Of course, because I am source. That's it. Know it with a neutrality that it's normalized for you. So I'm going to assume that this helped you, because I know it will. And go about my day. And if you want to work with me, reach out and just keep staying in the knowing, but do some meditation. Sit with yourself. Don't be afraid to sit with your thoughts and let them come and let them go. And then you'll come to a place of stillness. And from that stillness, you're marinating in it. Desires will start to bubble up on their own. And then things will start to move. And you'll get intuitive hits. And you need to move on those intuitive hits. That's the other thing. So just do that. Just try it. And watch the way you talk to yourself. Stop shitting on yourself. There will be no more of that. You wouldn't do that to your children if you have children, or your parents if you have parents that you have a good relationship with, or your best friend, or whoever that you love and adore. You wouldn't do that to them. But yet you are condemning yourself and preventing the very thing that you desire to have, because of the way that you are talking to yourself, your inner speech, your inner dialogue. So it's got to stop. All right. Have a great day, and we will see you again soon.